everyone. Thank you for watching our channel again, Be You Creative. We are so excited to have our new guests share their story with us. And I can't wait to introduce her. Well, actually, I'm going to let her introduce herself. I'm going to tell you her name and let her tell you all about what she does. This is going to be yet another powerful interview that I hope you are inspired by, and that all of you reach out to her and collaborate with her, because she's doing such amazing things. So without further ado, I want to say welcome to Be You Creative, Miss Daniella Denis.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Aisha.
Thank you for coming. So just to get started, I always tell everyone who comes on the page, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, well, I am a kindergarten teacher. I am also Haitian American. I live in Miami, Florida, and I've been teaching for a good about 15 years in the public school system. But overall, I've been teaching for maybe 22 to 23 years of experience. So I have a lot of experience in teaching, and it's my passion. I have a bachelor's in early childhood and a master's in ESE, early childhood education. So I work with students that have special needs, either developmental delays, and even I can work with students that have physical impairments. So I am certified in those areas.
Thank you. So I want to know, like, can you take us back to that moment when you realized that you wanted to be an educator and teach kids? Like, when did that happen for you in life?
Oh my goodness, it's so funny that you would ask, because I just came from my brother's wedding and I would speak to my cousins. And this was a cousin that I used to grow up with. And we actually used to go to the same daycare. And she says she remembers when we were in daycare, like 3 or 4 years old, she said she always remembered that I wanted to be a teacher. I always said that I wanted to be a teacher. I don't remember that, quite frankly. I remembered her saying that she wanted to be a nurse, but she always remembered that I said that I wanted to be a teacher. And of course, when God put something in your heart, he'll allow that to flourish throughout the years. But I remember particularly in high school when I was just debating with being a teacher, and I was really good at a lot of things. I wanted to get into engineering. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to do so many different things. And I remember I was a part of a club. It was called the Good Life Mentor Club. And we would mentor students after school. And I remember particularly there's this girl, she had a really hard time with completing her math assignment, and she was just struggling. And I just remember just calming her down and said, it's easy, just relax. I showed her step by step. And she was so excited when she finally understood. She said, I got it. I got it. I don't know what those words did to me, but it hit something straight down in my soul. It said, this is what you're meant to do. And so from there on, I pursued everything education, everything connected to education I pursued, because that feeling was something that I'd never felt before. And I knew that this is what I was called to do. And I couldn't resist it anymore.
Wow. I think that's beautiful that you could like really pinpoint that moment. For me, I would be like, let me remember or let me think about it. But I think that's really beautiful. And I know that as an educator, it comes with a lot of challenges, but also some beautiful successes as well. I wanted you to walk us through like, what are some of the challenges as an educator, as a teacher, that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, as far as like when it comes to even supplies that you're getting supplies for kids, for and even the stuff that has been talked about in the news, you know, about wages for teachers and everything. I want you to just tell us a little bit more about that so that we can have an understanding of how being a teacher is for you.
Yes, I think a lot of what I'll share, many teachers would echo and say the same. The biggest thing, honestly, is parental support. When students don't come to school, it's hard to teach them because they're not there. Or when parents struggle to just provide aid to the students If they have homework, some of them come to school without completing their homework. They don't find the value in completing homework or even just bringing pencils, the basic supplies to school. And a lot of times it's expected from the parents of us as teachers to provide those basic supplies when in fact we ourselves are struggling with maintaining our supplies ourselves. So we have to often reach out to other donors choose or reach out to other places to provide additional materials for us, because at one point when I started teaching, we would receive as teachers a lot of supplies at the beginning of the school year. Now we're receiving like maybe a little bag with maybe one ream of paper and a couple of pencils. Is every year it seems as if it's dwindling and dwindling. So, however, the government does provide funding for us to purchase supplies, but in all honesty, we spend way more than that. If I can say a minimum of $1,000 a year, that's no exaggeration, because we spend so much. Either we're buying food for incentives for students that are passing their assessments, and anything that the government sends us, it does not include food, because we spend so much money on food and snacks and treats for them. So a minimum of $1,000 a year, that's literally no exaggeration. We spend way more than that. And then another struggle also is just having the services that students need, because some right now we are literally in dire need of teachers, social workers, counselors, because they're stressed out, and they're not having the support that they need. And a lot of times the district really has a hard time understanding that what the teachers actually need in the classroom, because they're putting mandates on administrators are putting mandates on the teachers, and we're crying, we're saying, hey, we need this, and they're like, hey, just make it happen. And it's often frustrating when the support is there, or we can have it but we don't have access to it. Either, oh, there's we hear complaints, oh, there's not enough funding, or there's not enough this. There was something in the news not so long ago where a student attacked the teacher, and the teacher had asked previously, is there anything that we can have, can we provide any support for the student, because the child needs additional support. And of course, like what we all teachers here, there's not enough funding. So the problem is that the money is there, but it's not funneled where it needs to be. So we need social workers, we need counselors that are there to really provide services for the students that are really struggling at home. There's, especially during this pandemic, where they see their parents. Uh, a lot of them are literally going through situations that are really difficult, where the parents are working all the time, really don't have the time to sit down and really help the children. So, and they're seeing a lot of things that they shouldn't be seeing. So now they come to school with all this trauma, and there's no one here to deal with it. So that's one of the biggest struggles, making sure that we have personnel to provide support for the children that are really in need, especially in low income areas. We are in desperate need of counselors, social workers that are there to assist the children as a whole. Because then once we have, as a teacher, we know that the students are able to go and speak to someone about whatever it is that they're going through, they come back, they're ready to learn. Versus we as teachers have to be the social worker. We have to do all of these things, stop what we're doing, because you can't teach a child that child's not ready to learn. So you have to first meet their physical needs, their emotional needs, before you can even get into the curriculum. So that's often the biggest challenge. Well, one of the many challenges that we face in education. So if there's a really good understanding of providing real and meaningful support to teachers and the student as a whole, it will make a big difference, because a lot of times we're expected to do so much, or we're asked to take time for ourselves, and make sure that you take time for your mental health, teachers, but we're being bombarded with additional work and not really having the support throughout that process. That's the biggest, that's one of the frustrating things about teaching. But yeah,
I
but we
didn't
love.
and I love that you guys love that. I didn't even think about what you said, meeting the physical needs and the emotional needs before actually teaching them. And that's something to really think about. And I think that's powerful within itself that you said. Is there any way that us as a community, people, when they watch this, see what, is there something that we can do to help out in any way, even if it's a smallest way? Just from what you're encountering and what you're experiencing. Um, how can we do that? How can we do that to help out?
I'm so glad that you asked. Well, one, if you are a parent, please support your child's teacher. Show them that you care. If they send home a supply list, please bring the things that are on the supply list, because we really do use every single thing that's requested on that list. And if you don't provide it, it comes out of our pockets because we need it, and it's for your child, and the betterment of your child. Also, reach out to your schools, reach out to the schools and let them know, hey, this is what teachers need. And if you could provide some type of support, and volunteer. I know right now with COVID restrictions, they're starting to soften up a little bit. You can volunteer and encourage other people to volunteer in schools. That would make a big difference. Any help, it makes a big difference. It matters. And also voting, when there's legislation against teachers and legislation that really impacts the students, it matters. The more people that speak up and say, hey, this is not right, this is what teachers are actually going through, they really need more funding, they really need more of what they're asking for. And it's not a crime to ask for a livable wage, right? Because we're struggling just to make it. Mind you, our pay is not as great, but yet with the little that we receive, we're still stretching it to provide for your children, to provide for the students, because we know that they need it. And yet we still have, at the end of the day, we still have to figure out, okay, how we're going to pay our bills, how we're going to find somewhat a decent place to stay, right, without worrying. So just anything you see teachers are fighting for, it, believe me, we are not greedy. We love children so much. We have a heart for them. And many times we think of them before we think of ourselves. But at some point, we have to think of ourselves, because we have family too. We have children. We have uh, members that are going through we're going through life, right? They're living. So it's fair enough to take care of the teachers that are pouring their heart and soul day in and day out to the children, because once that bell ends or that bell rings, our day is not over. Like, some people could say, hey, you know what, I'll come back to work tomorrow. We carry that your child in our thoughts, in our hearts. We carry them all day long. We're thinking about, oh man, when we're going to the store, we see, oh man, this cool activity would be great for Johnny, would be great for Elizabeth. So we're constantly thinking, we're constantly teaching. Teaching never ends for us. So anything that you can do, voting, providing support, volunteering, getting other people to volunteer, putting on some type of drive, whatever it is that comes on your heart, please do it, because it's needed. And it would really make a big difference in the academic health, emotional health, in every way for for the children.
Thank you for sharing that, guys. I can really say that Miss Daniella loves teaching. So both of us, a little backstory between Miss Daniella and I. We both are from Florida, and we both we actually danced together in the dance ministry at our church, and then also we worked together creating a reading curriculum for students. And I would see Miss Daniela, I call her Miss D sometimes. I would see Miss Daniela like working nonstop to create beautiful artwork and a curriculum for the kids to come and just engage in with the performing arts and the creativity and the amount of hours that she puts into it. When the children come, their faces light up and you see all this beautiful artwork from what they learned that day. And even going in her car, y'all. Y'all, she has all things for all of the children. She's always thinking like, I gotta get
I'm
pencils, I gotta get some crayons. Ooh, let's do some poster boards. I came up with this creative idea. Like, she is nonstop in love with teaching kids and seeing them grow, you know, and transform into these beautiful human beings. So I can just attest to everything that she's saying. Like, she loves her job. And I thank you so much for telling us about that. And I want to actually transition into um you dancing, because you know, I said Miss Daniela and I, we danced in the dance ministry at our church. And I just wanted to talk about that. So I don't know this, but I'm just going to ask these questions. Before you came into the dance ministry, were you ever dancing before then?
I danced, I guess, for a short period of time at my previous church, at
Mhm.
my previous church, but it wasn't anything major. Because we didn't have a lot of space, so I danced for a short period of time. But honestly, prior to even that, I didn't even know I could dance. I didn't know I could. I didn't know I had the talent. I didn't know I could do it. It was just, I remember one time I went to my cousin's wedding and I did the electric slide. And then my aunt said, "Oh, she could dance." And "Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, let's pursue this a little bit further." But I didn't. But I remember my mom saying, as a kid, my mom would say that, "Oh, my dad danced really well." I never thought twice about it. I remember thinking about, "Oh, I wonder who has um who took after him." And I didn't even think twice about it. I didn't even consider the thought that maybe I took from my dad. But I danced for a small period right before I came to Trinity. Didn't even know. Did not
So
even know.
so was you dancing before, or was what your mom said and your family said your motivation to continue dancing at this church, at our church?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that dancing, uh, when I came to Trinity Church, I saw Angela and the girls dancing on stage. And I just remember thinking, "God, I want to dance like that for you. I want to be even better. I want to be better than what I am now. But I just don't know. I don't know how to be that great. I don't, but I'm willing. I'm here. Please teach me." And that, woo, when you say a prayer like that, you better be careful. He will teach you. And so many times I wanted to quit. I'm like, "God, this is too hard. They're laughing at me. They're talking about me." And God's like, "Okay, well, if you stay home, you're not gonna learn what you want to learn. You're not gonna be better. So you you can quit, but you're not gonna get better." And so, of course, there'd be days I would just cry and push myself to dance because it was so hard. But I'm just so glad that God helped me through it, because I've learned so much through dancing. I've learned so much. Yeah, I prior to that, I've never taken ballet. I've never done any of that. I've seen my cousins go to ballet classes, and I've never done any professional dancing. I didn't do any of that as a kid. I used to sing a lot. I just sang all around the house. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be singing.
Mhm.
God was like,
No.
"Pause, pause. I'm going to sing you in another direction for a little bit. And then we get back to that singing route. But right now, I want you to focus on dance." Like, okay. And
Wow.
it's been an amazing journey.
So I've seen you grow a lot, and I was just like, man, she's doing her thing, and she was definitely consistent. Angela's our dance teacher, who taught us dance, and it wasn't just like, I'm gonna teach you some worship dance. Like, she was teaching us ballet and modern and hip hop and jazz and contemporary, like if we were in dance school, and training us like the professionals. So I thank you, Angela, for teaching us that. My question for you, when it comes to dance is, you continue dancing in church. I've seen a lot of stories where people either learn dance outside of church and then come to church and dance, and then there's some people who learn dance in church and then leave church and continue dancing outside of it. what made you want to stay in there, like dancing for the church? Like, I know you touched on it a little bit, but I want to hear more about your faith and what worship also means to you when it comes to dance.
Well, in high school, I had some traumatic events that took place, and the only way that I could think about what God did for me and how God rescued me and saved me was to worship Him and dance. And I remember that day where I saw uh, the dancers on stage. I said, God, I want to dance for you this way. I want to be able to worship you. I want to be able to give you an offering to show my gratitude and how amazing you are and what you've done for me. And I want to be able to give you something that's royalty. I want to be able to give you some type of I want to be able to dance for you in a way that kings and queens would receive dancers, and people would dance for kings and queens. I want to dance that way for you. I want it to be amazing and great. And God helped me to be consistent. Every opportunity I had, there was a dance, whatever it was, whether I got cut many times in dance, it would hurt me a lot. But God, the Holy Spirit will remind me that, okay, you were cut, but you learn how to point your toes, but you learn how to, I don't know, do something that you didn't know before. So you're gonna keep coming. And that was probably the hardest thing for me is in the midst of rejection, constant rejection, to still push forward, because I knew that God was training me. So I knew that dance was my way of worshiping God, my way of saying thank you for what you have done for me, what you will continue to do for me and through me. And so it's just it's it's an outward expression of my gratitude to God forever for everything that I've gone through, everything that He has taken me from. And it's a way to say thank you. When you have no words, dance become my words. It's an outward expression of my gratitude to God.
Thank you so much, Miss Daniela, for sharing your story about teaching and about dancing. I feel like your whole story is an encouragement and a testimony for everybody to just be inspired by. I want to know, I would like for you to give us an encouraging word for everybody who's watching and on their journey, because you said you encountered difficulty with stuff with teaching and also with dancing, but also you rose above those difficulties. And so I want you to just give a encouraging word for everybody who is on their journey and on their walk as a creative. And what would you say to them?
Well, I would say really trust God. Whatever it is that you want, that you're asking, that you're seeking, be honest with God, because He wants that open relationship with you. And just be real honest. God, this is where I'm at, and I don't want to be here. God, I need you to help me. God, I can't do it without you. That's my constant prayer. God, I can't do it without you, and I'm not going to do it without you. You call me to this, and Father, I need you to send all the provisions to help me through this, because I want to glorify you, Father. I need you. And just really make an intentional effort, like really be intentional with seeking a relationship with God, like listening to the word. If you're listening to the Bible audioly, through audio, if reading the word, um, reading your devotionals, and just asking God to really help you. So I encourage you just to push through, ask God to help you, just really develop that intimate relationship with God, because He wants that. He wants you to talk about the silly things. God, oh my goodness, God, I tripped over here. Oh my God, you saw that? Yeah, girl, I saw it. Just the little things, it all matters to God. So whatever matters to you, it matters to God. So really develop a relationship with God. And the same way you would talk to your friends, God wants you to talk to Him the same way, because He is the best friend you would ever have, the best that you could ever have. And so seek an intimate relationship with God and just trust Him. And then not only that, but ask Him to give you the help that you need to trust him. It's like, God, I want to trust you, but I don't know how. Help me, God, to trust you. Help me to do the things that I need to do to be where I need to be with you in our relationship. So, yeah.
Thank you. I love that. Trust God. Nothing is too small for God to hear and to answer. He loves us all, and I thank you for that answer. Do you have any other or any way for people to follow you and just to connect with you and follow you on your journey, whether it be social media or a website or anything?
Well, I have Instagram,
Okay.
the letter D, royalty. So DD royalty. And I'm also on Facebook, Daniella Denis. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Miss Daniela, for being a part of Be Creative. We are so blessed, and thank you for just sharing your insight as a teacher, as a worshiper, as a dancer, and just beautiful light. We thank you for just coming on and sharing all of that with you. Thank you, my BU creators, for watching. Until next time,